When other people call a guy a loser, they're saying shorthand that he's someone who doesn't provide value. In high school, and even college to a degree, someone who is called a loser is referring to a person, usually a male, who isn't popular or isn't cool. This usually means someone who's trying to work hard in school and get good grades and stay out of trouble, aka nerds. Once you move past the childish games of adolescence and into early adulthood, this is where being called a loser holds legitimate weight. A true loser from an objective, universal definition is someone incapable of dealing with the physical, emotional, and psychological challenges that adulthood presents. People can call a successful man in society a loser, but this is often a purely emotional reaction based on their dislike of the man, usually based around some vague feeling of envy. An example of envy: someone who is a true loser will often call another man a loser because the man in question is often more successful than they are in various life areas. What makes someone a true loser? An examination. What is at the core of calling someone a loser? When we're talking about losers in a universal sense, this typically refers to two things. A man who still acts childish relative to his age. A man who lacks self-efficacy in basic life areas. What does this mean? Well, what comes to mind when you think of a guy who acts like a child relative to his age? While that one's easy to grasp, let's talk about the second one briefly. Self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is usually defined as an individual's ability to perform in a way that helps them get needs met in a specific area. Being productive. In this scenario, a loser is someone who lacks the self-efficacy to get themselves to the next level in life. This might be the guy who can't hold down a job because they can't get over addictive or compulsive behavior. Or, it might be the guy who can't even get a job in the first place because all he wants to do is play video games. He lacks gusto. He lacks drive. At its core, life is the ultimate game. And it's often a game of resources. Resources come in the form of money, obviously, social status, having a social network and being well connected, and the ability to choose how to spend time. People who are all around losers often have limited or no access to resources and most likely have low self-efficacy. In harder times, like caveman days, being a loser as a man was dangerous. If you didn't have self-efficacy, you risked being killed or outdueled by other men for resources. And of course, a woman who was with a man who could not do things risked her life and the life of her children. This is often why you see women get with guys who are considered bad boys, because these bad boys have self-efficacy. They can be assertive time and get things that they want, many times. These guys may be CEOs, or not. These guys may be working regular jobs, or not, but people who can assert their will on situations and influence outcomes are very attractive. Confidence is the ultimate aphrodisiac. But simply summed up, guys who are true losers are often men who are low on the dominance hierarchy. For whatever reason, they cannot get life to comply with their demands. How are losers created? Losers are made, not born. The sooner a man realizes that, the sooner he can act proactively. If you look into the background of a so-called loser, you'll see a multiplicity of various issues. You might see trauma or even abuse of some kind by an authority figure such as a teacher or a parent. You might see a tragic home life. You might see bullying by other kids on the playground. You might see a hard rejection by a woman in their teenage years or adolescence. You might see someone who came from a deficient background with absolutely zero encouragement or motivation. Every person who is considered a loser had different life circumstances. Not all losers came from neglectful homes, and not all losers were bullied in school. It's a combination of different issues that a person unconsciously draws upon to justify their lack of assertiveness to get the things they want in life. Either way, this sets the stage for someone to mentally check out of life, usually starting early on. This person becomes someone who makes a habit of taking the easy way out or avoiding pain, whether it is in areas such as procrastination or materialistically in the form of alcohol or drugs. This passive-aggressive whatever attitude towards life is characteristic of many so-called losers, and it's only broken by action. Am I a loser, or am I just tripping? As I mentioned, a man can be called a loser without actually being a loser. But how do you know if you're a loser for real? The following isn't a one-size-fits-all, but if you find yourself resonating with a majority of these, you may be a loser. Your friends are also losers. Think about the people you hang around. Are they also losers? Do you find yourself sitting in a basement on a Friday watching movies and eating Cheetos instead of doing things? Are your friends guys who have some degree of social status? Or are they also people who are disrespected by other people? Do they complain about other guys? Do they complain about women? You have no experience with women. Losers often have little or no experience with women, so they are either scared of them, put them on a pedestal and deify them, or complain about how bad they are. People who are seen as losers are often nice guys and are seen as cute by women but not attractive. They are often the friend but never the lover. These are the guys you often see complaining about this and that, but never doing anything to solve it. You complain, a lot. Losers often complain a shit ton. They whine about the weather. They bitch about the government. They spend their time getting into fights online. Everything is an offense to them. They pine for a utopia where anything and everything is delivered to them on a silver platter. A stress-free life with no problems. You are the low man on the totem pole. You may have been in your career for quite a while. You may even be quite good, probably the best person in that type of work in your office/building/location. But somehow, you find yourself stuck, you find yourself stagnant. You've never gotten a promotion and you've never even heard whispers of you getting promoted. Even if you change companies, you still find yourself doing grunt work. You couldn't defend yourself or anyone else in a fight. If a brawl breaks out in a bar, you would end up being collateral damage. If another man touched your girl inappropriately or took her as a party favor, there would be nothing you could do about it. You aren't trying to better yourself. Losers don't engage in self-development. They either view it as a waste of time or they think it's just too much effort for too little reward. They are content with their lot in life. If you resonated with at least two of the above, then chances are, you're a loser. But you don't have to stay that way. Read on for some things you can start to do and integrate into your life to stop being a loser. How to stop being a loser, things to consider. You didn't become a loser overnight, so you won't become a loser overnight. But you can start implementing these pieces and change your life over time. Decide to take control of your life. People who are considered losers are people who let life decide things for them. They let life decide what they're going to wear, where they're going to live, and even what they do as a profession. They pretty much wave the white towel and just check out because it's easier than asserting oneself. If you want to stop being a loser, you have to stop letting circumstances dictate the outcomes. Some of the most influential people in history, think Martin Luther King, Winston Churchill, Abraham Lincoln, decided to shape instead of being shaped. They took the cards they were given and played a masterful game even in the face of daunting odds. You may have faced daunting odds growing up. Are you going to let that be the final tale in the story? Are you just going to lay down and accept defeat? You may not be able to choose your past, but you can choose what you do with it.